Hey, how's it going? Thank you for stopping by, checking out my YouTube page, checking out my YouTube channel. My name is Rick. I'm also known as Rick's 2 Cents. Those are new to my channel, thanks for stopping by, checking out one of my videos. Those are not new to my channel, thanks again for coming back for another video. Today I have a great video for you today. It's going to be on the Monport K40 40-watt CO2 laser. If you didn't see the previous video, in the description below, I will have a video. I have an unboxing video and setting up video. I also have a video that I built as a nice table stand for a permanent home, I say, for the actual K40 laser. But I was honest, in my opinion, as I always am, and say I think there's a few things I wouldn't say fall short, but some things that I would like to modify for my preferences that I think would suit me better. And one of the things that I saw was the LCD, and I'll show you in a second here. The LCD display that shows the temperature. It ran on a watch battery. And although it may function and work, these things are mass produced at any point in time. And the reality is that you don't know how old the battery is to when the manufacturer received it versus how long that was actually manufactured in the laser itself. Because since it's on a battery, it didn't have one of those pull tabs. It was actually on. So, you know, that battery could have been running for a year before I received it. Who knows? But at any rate, I wanted one that was on a 12 volt or a permanent power source, that when I was to turn it on, that it was, and you're gonna say, Rick, this is corny, but the actual LCD display that was underneath the temperature displays is in full color, and I just thought it would be cool if the temperature displays and that other display were all in full color. They're pretty cool. So I picked these LCD displays up on, they're called, I don't even know how to pronounce this. It's spelled K. I'll put something up right here. K-E-T-O-T-E-K. I'm dyslexic. That was hard to even say. So I won't even butcher the name, but they were fairly inexpensive. So let me just give you a quick little display of here. The cool thing is that the exact same size of the one that's in there. So I've literally just removed the hot glue, push this in, wire it up. Done deal. And they are in full color as well as in Celsius and degrees. So wherever part of the world you are from, whatever is more comfortable to use, you can. If you notice, they do have these connectors that would be used in a PC environment. I'm just going to snip these off and just use the the two wires that come with it. So I'm not going to use that. Yeah, so that's it. So let me go ahead and pause the video really quick and turn the camera around, get you set up over at the laser. Kind of turn the lightings around. By the way, quick question for you. Added some new studio lighting. There's a light above me that you can't see. But a lot of people tell me that they wanted that cinema look. So even though it's so bright and I look like an airport in here right now, if you can't tell, you'll notice on the edges and certain things in the video, it has like a black effect or a shading. People call it a cinema look. Everyone was telling me to add that video effect in Adobe. They like that cinema look. It looked better. Let me know what you think. I get it. It looks kind of cool, whatever. Rather than just being like big bright spotlight on me in white. But so just let me know what you think, if you think that made a difference or not. I do value the opinion of all of my YouTube followers and subscribers. You guys give me tons and tons of pointers. So unrelated, but just wanted to know what your guys' feedback on, if you thought it made a difference or it looked more professional in the video recording industry. But just putting it out there. So be right back. All right. We're here at the Monport K40 laser, and the nice table that I made here. So let's just get this open. Okay, so just give you a heads up, sneak peek, spoiler alert. I did buy a 4-inch exhaust fan that I will be exhausting this out. If you didn't catch the video when I made this stand right there, if you didn't see it, you gotta watch it. And I'm gonna be venting that out to my basement here. Let me back up so you can see it. Sorry, you're gonna see the little studio lights here, but it's gonna go up here and go out that way. So that'll be another video if you want to see how I did that or what I chose. I did a lot of research on which one, why I decided to go with it. I'm also going to be upgrading this light, so that's another future video. And I'm also going to be adding air assist. another thing that kind of like wah wah wah. But I'm happy I was able to help others. I was really talking to Monport. I've been creating a great relationship with them. Very open company to talk with. Kind of actually crazy because a lot of these companies, you send them an email and a week to a week and a half that you have any kind of response, and these guys have been like almost immediate, which is like unheard of. And I said, I sent them a link in the description, that everyone's buying this CO2. Everyone's buying this air assist, and I don't mean to go off on a tangent in this video, but everyone's buying this air assist, and it's $22. So why can't they just include it? And guess what they said? Going forward, that they're gonna start having them come with air assist. So if you buy a K40 laser later and it has air assist in it, you're welcome. But let's go back to what we were making this video on. Let me go ahead and turn this chiller on. Not cooler, chiller. Because I do not like turning that on without having this on. So now you see, let's see here. Let me see, can I set this on? All right, now you see what I mean. So it had these let's get set up. These batteries here, as you notice, these are missing because when it stopped working, I swapped the batteries and thinking it was just the batteries themselves, and it wasn't. And they were just kind of hot glue gunned in place, or maybe just hot glue gun on, so then it could just be sit down in there and monitor the power supply. The manufacturer also apparently is coming out or came out with a new and improved power supply. I'm going to be receiving one shortly. There's nothing wrong with this power supply. It's a new and improved. So I don't really know what the differences are yet. More to come on that. So I guess you'll see. But just kind of again giving spoiler alert. Just giving a spoiler alert of another video that's coming. So let's go ahead and I will get this hot glue all removed. And as you can see, it's really just, it almost looks identical. So, sorry. So it looks, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, baby. All right, so let me go and get this. I'm gonna turn everything off now. I don't want to be touching things while it's powered on. So I'm gonna turn this off. Turn the water off first. I'll turn the laser off first, and then turn the water off. Okay, so we're off powered. I just don't like touching things. All right, so then, as you can see, this was literally just the cord that went down in there. So we're good on that. Go ahead and get a blade. To the CO2, so I think without these two gauges, this should not be operated at all. So I'll show you in the back how this is zip tied once we get this in place. But yeah. So I had a couple different ideas in mind of where I would get the power source from. Either one, I was actually going to steal the power that was originally on this light. I did see when it was sticking in there, it's hard to see on the film because the light is so bright. I saw right here on this LCD strip, it said 24 volts. So I thought, wow, I could cut this off and steal this power supply and it would power that one easily. Or I plan later to install some additional fans in here. I do have a 12 volt power supply that I was going to be adding dedicated to the fans so that I'm not putting an additional load on the power supply that is running the CO2 laser. So I just wanted to see what it's actually getting. Let's see here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you, but, or if you'll catch it. 24.92 volts. 24.92 volts. I'm not sure if you can see that in the film or not, but it's almost 24 volts. So that's perfect. So again, this just was, it's double-sided sticky tape, like super sticky. So it was just, you know, pressed back there. I just pulled it off. So that's what it was. And then you will see my later, the light upgrade. The light, I don't think this does horrible. It's not horrible. But since I'm upgrading, let's do it. So that'll be another video too, the lighting upgrade. Alright, so let's get that cut, let's get this shut off, and let's get that wired up. And let's see which way this goes. Which way? We'll see. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip this off and just use the red and black. Whoop. Check a look at that. Is that pretty cool or what? It's cool. Okay, so the side with the wires on it, that would make it right side up. That looks awesome. Alright, so I'm going to turn this off, push it down, snake the wires, but at least now I know which way is which. Cool. It's not loose or anything. Let me see if I can push it out. Yeah, so I see why they put a little hot glue. I think I will definitely do the same. It is the right size. It has those clips, but there's some play. That looks sloppy. I don't want it being like that. So I'll pull it close and hot glue gun it just the same. She's on. All right, so as you can see, the gauges are installed. The wire loom's all the way down. I got my two ends taped. Can you see me? Get some more light. Hopefully you can see. I got my two ends right here together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and install this power supply. By the way, the power supply has moved out the way. And I think what I'm going to do is it has these side mount screws. I'm going to go ahead and mount it like so. I wanted to put a fan right here, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out now with that power supply being like that. But so if that power supply is there, this power supply is here. We got plenty of room in between as far as like dissipating heat wise. Yeah, I think that's a solid idea. Move this back out the way. So I was trying to keep this video as short as possible. Unboxing. So this power supply is a La Demo. I purchased this on Amazon. I will have a link in the description below. So go ahead and purchase this. So this will go here. All right. So I had this little light to give it some, set a little light on there. This little light of mine. Anyway, so if you want to see what's the game plan, all right. So you see how the power supply is going to be ran. You see that my two tails are going to go into that power supply. You saw why I chose not to actually use the existing power source because I do have need for additional 12 volts for additional mods that I want to do, adding fans. So I was planning on adding an additional power supply anyways, and the fact that the existing power supply is double tapped on multiple inputs, and I'm sure they've done the math, the load capacity, but I don't want to add to that to cause any type of issues. So I'm going to use my independent power supply, and that way that there's no additional load on that power supply itself. Okay, so how am I going to power my power supply? If you see right back here in this corner, to the left of those two plugs right here, I'm going to drill a hole in the back. So basically here. So how am I going to do that? What am I going to use? Etc. etc. So let me give you, set this camera down. Check this out. So this is what I'm going to use. It is a AC port plug, two-way splitter. It's the manufacturer's Norco, N-O-K-O, GCP2. I'll have a link in the description below to Amazon where I purchased this from. Fairly inexpensive. Wait till you see what this is. Very cool. Let's get this open. Very, very cool. So let me grab a knife. Come on. Here we are. Got the camera tipped. Alright. Cellophane on. Let's open this up. My wife says, if you don't get this laser working, Rick, and you just keep doing upgrades, this is going to kill me. Things got to start making money. They got to hold their own like myself. I'm not doing this as a hobby. I'm doing this to make money. So these upgrades that I'm showing you, I think that they're not upgrades just to be cool. I think they're functional upgrades that will improve the quality of the laser overall. Alright, so that's the box. That's what's in it. So check this out. So what this is you're literally drilling a hole through. That's a 2-inch hole. And then on the back side you will have a plug. So you would just plug in an extension cord, so I will plug into my USPS, my surge protector, and then I have a 2-way switch. It's like an extension cord with a switch on it. A lot of extension cords even come up to 3 and 4 different combinations on this, but this is very, very cool. So yeah, look at that, very cool, nice heavy duty. How this is all put together. So extremely happy with these guys. It's not super cheap, but it definitely has a good quality, and you get what you pay for. And the actual gauge of everything is good. So I'm going to put this on the back side, and then have this on the inside. One will be for the power supply, and one is going to be for my 110 light upgrade. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Yeah, so I will be adding a light upgrade. I mentioned that earlier in the video, so you will see that as well. There's that power supply. Yeah, so you will see that as well. Definitely here. Bam. So definitely happy with this, and we'll go ahead and get this connected. Go ahead and drill that hole. I bought a brand new, and I already had a drill bit, but I wanted it to be super sharp. So I got a new Milwaukee bit, a 2-inch hole bit, to drill through the back, because I didn't want it chomping away at the back. I wanted to cut through that really quick to alleviate any kind of vibrations at all. So I figured a brand new bit, it should be able to go through pretty fast, fairly easy. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this cut, make this hole, pull this in, and then what I plan to do to get it from this to the power supply, which is here, is I'm going to take a old desktop plug. I have it around here. I'll show you in a minute. And lop off one end, plug it in here, and then have it build a hardwire into the power supply. You'll see that in a second. But just if you're wondering, how am I going to do that? So let's clean up this stuff off the table. Let's get the drill set up, and let's make a hole in the back. I've already looked on the inside and make sure my clearance is. I made sure that my cables are not in the way. I don't have any issues. So because this thing is this way, right? So this is the bottom. This has like it's actually on the bottom size. It's not coming straight out. So you got to make sure that it's high enough so that this is being bent backwards. I hope that makes sense. Because since this is the inside, if it was too low, basically here I'll use this. If it was too low to the ground and this wouldn't be able to bend up, then there would be a problem. So I got to make sure that when I drill this hole here, that on the inside, when this is flush, that this bottom part is not hitting the floor, that I have enough room to come up because this is coming on the bottom. So that's all. That's my only concern. That was quick. All right, let's clean up my mess. That was also the point of buying a brand new Milwaukee. These carbon tips are insane because I have probably 3-4 of these, but I've used them in the past, and I didn't want it to have to muscle through that hole. I wanted to just cut through like butter because there's a what above here? A glass tube, and I don't want it to vibrate. And this thing just cut through like nothing. So there's no vibrations or any concerns with my tube, and that's why I didn't want to use a used one. And I went ahead and purchased a new one. So there'll be a link in the description to this as well. I'd suggest you just buy a brand new one, like I said, even if you already have one. They're not expensive. Don't take the risk. Just taking a Klein screwdriver and just using the tip to just ream the edge. I did is I just took this screwdriver, I rubbed it in a circular motion, and then I went in an angle on the inside just to run the inside lip to make sure it wasn't sharp. Now, I run my finger along the edge and there's no burrs or anything sticking off, and it's not sharp at all. I dulled it out so I don't have to be concerned about, you know, that wiggling around and eventually maybe cutting through on that rubber. But it will be fastened so it shouldn't spin or anything like that. But I'm just always taking extra precaution, especially electricity. Let's vacuum up this mess and then let's clean up the inside. And as you notice, none of those pipes are actually glued together. So if at any point in time I got to pull them apart, it's easy, you know, to pull them apart. That's why they're not glued together. She fit. Look at that. How I was talking about, that's how I was talking about that bend. So it worked out perfect. So, whoa. Take a peek here. So I just gotta hold it there and put some self-threaded tappers that they provided with this. Spin it straight and get it set in there. But it looks great. It doesn't look odd or, you know, weird placed. So I just want to make sure that it's level. Not level, I'm sorry. Just turn right side up. This is straight. I don't want it to be crooked like that. But let me go get my impact and self-threaded tappers that came with it and get that put in, and that was fairly easy. Just self-threaded tappers. Take a peek at that. Looks phenomenal. Super happy the way that turned out. Looks great. Be great for cable management. I'm a stickler for cable management. I hate things look sloppy, messy. So I'll be able to dress those nice in there. Look really nice. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this power supply wired up. So if you're wondering what I was going to do is, like I said, I'm going to take a old desktop power cord. I'm going to cut the end off. And then this will be able to plug into that splitter, and then this I'll be able to plug it into there. I got these Terminators and connector assortments from Harbor Freight, so I will go ahead and solder these on and get these put on here, so to be plugged into there, and then a hardwired connection into here. And then obviously I have my three. I can do three if I don't double up, but you know, three different devices on this power supply. So super happy the way this is turning out. Everything looks really clean, really well. Yeah, so let's get this cut and let's get this connected. Got it. Make sure there's no frays or cuts in this, which there are not. Perfecto. Looks good. That's why I took my time. I was debating on using one of these versus one of these, but I think I'm going to use this, using a ring versus a spade, because it can't be, you know, unplugged. All right, so in the description, I'm sorry, somewhere here in the picture here, I'm going to post a picture of how this is wired, because I know you can't see it, and how to wire this, because I know you can't see it. And no matter what weird angle I tried to move this camera, it just wasn't a good shot. So that way, if anyone is following the directions from behind me, you know, you don't cause an electrical hazard. You are wiring this up correctly. Every power supply may be a little different, but you can follow the color codes to know which way to hook it up. It's tight. So we got our neutral wire connected, we got our ground wire connected, and we're now connecting our hot. Alright, all three of them are connected. Moment of truth. Plug this in and see what happens. A little green light in there, well, that's a good sign. I can take a voltmeter or I will take a voltmeter actually, and test these and see what we're getting. So I cut this cord, an old cord that I had, so that I can make it the exact length that I need, so there's not excessive slack. So I want to show something too. It's tight. On the back of this APC UPC, it has a master, which is whenever that's powered on, it powers on these two, which are controlled by master. So I'm going to plug in on this top one my power supply, so when the laser turns on, it turns that on. And by the way, there's also a ground, and if you look at any of the electrical wiring in there, all electrical is grounded to this. It's bonded to this. So I'm going to be running a ground from here to there. I don't see anybody else doing that either, so let's get this hooked up. Alright, I just want to show something. So I took the cable from there, pushed it in the corner, wrapped it around the bottom, wrapped it around perfect, and then it's going to tuck back there. I'm going to take some 2-inch tape and wrap it. Now people may be looking at this and say, Rick, why are you wrapping everything tape? You're being extra careful. You're being extra that's certainly not needed. Well, this isn't just a normal electrical device. First off, it's high voltage, and second off, it's something that's pumping water through it. So if anyone who's ever built a water-cooled desktop, it's kind of like the same. So when you play water and electric in the same box, it can be dangerous. So a couple extra seconds it's going to take me, a couple extra cents it's going to cost me to wrap in some 2-inch electrical tape. Extra caution could later save your life or the longevity of anything that you're using. So I'll go ahead and get that wrapped up into a 2-inch tape. You don't need to see me watching it, but I just want to say why I'm doing it. Because people are saying, Rick, why are you doing that? So, but I'm liking the way everything's laying out. I'm liking the way everything is, you know, kind of, and as time goes on, when that cable sits there and from the heat, it'll start to, you know, form that shape. So I like that as well. But right now it's just, it looks really good. I like that. All right, here we go. Just something I want to briefly mention that I forgot to double check is this power supply here has a switch that says 110 or 220. Switch back and forth. And it was defaulted to 220.
Oh
so
no!
I did switch it over to 110. So I'm wondering if it was not pushing out 12 volts because it was set up to 212 and was only receiving 110. So before I hook anything else back up, when I give it power, I'll put it back on the voltmeter and test it, because I turned it out all the way maxed up. I may have to spin that and turn that back down, but I'll verify that before I connect anything to it. Technically, well, these LEDs, these gauges I'm using, they can go from 5 to 24 volts, and this is only a 12 volt, so maxing it out, you know, 12. But we'll see. But I just thought I should mention that. So if you were purchasing this, a lot of these are universals for 110 or 220. Just make sure you double check that. Thank God they put the big sticker on there. You know, hey, big dummy. So I was able to double check that. So if you're installing one of these, that's just something you may want to double check. Just wanted to add that really quick here. So I just want to show what I'm going to be using for to wire the gauges. I'm just going to use some cable. This is a lamp cord cable. So since it's just a negative positive, there's no neutral. This will work fine. And obviously this gauge is it's a thicker gauge than that. So it's actually I think it's about the same. So yeah, that should mesh well with each other. And then the cable is it's right here. So then it'll go around, and come straight. I will use the forks on these. I just didn't want the power to come off, but I think that it's fine to use the forks on these because to be able to hook them. But I just didn't want the power at all to ever come loose. So that was my logic of thinking behind that. So I'm going to put the ends on here first, and then I'll wrap it around and see exactly where it needs to go so that I cut it to the length and I don't waste any cable cord. Got this soldering gun from Harbor Freight. It's a 10-watt soldering gun kit. Links will be in the description below if you want to see which one I bought or if you want to purchase the same one. Take a peek at the kit. Not bad. Come on. Let's go ahead and see if it works. Cord, put it in here. They work. Bam. Perfect. Everything's installed now just to make everything look pretty. Okay. It's plugged in. I just plugged it into the wall for now. Because obviously the power supply all ripped out. But just goes to show that cable is functioning and working. that pipe back, and I will go ahead and dress that down there. Put the power supplies on, as you can see, the little green light. So in moment of truth, I will test it and see, because like I said before, I didn't realize that it was set to 220. So let me test it again and see if it actually gets 12 volts now, or maybe it's higher and I need to turn it down. And it was not putting out what it said because it was set to 220 and it was only getting 110. Yeah, it's getting 15.10 now. So it's actually getting over 12. So I'll get the... So that's exactly what it was, because I had it on 110. It was actually getting a little less. Yeah, so I can turn it down a little bit. It's not going to hurt anything at all, but if I cannot have this power supply maxed out, it'd probably be better, right? So to just show, if I needed it, I could get an extra 3 volts out of here. Alright, I got exactly 12 volts. Well, of course. Hold on. It was 12.01. Do you see that? Hope you can see that. 12.01. So I don't think I'm going to get much better than that. And obviously, I change the leads. You could say something a little different. But let me just make sure you can read that. There you go. See? 12. Perfect. Alright, so the power supply redeemed itself. It was error on my behalf, not on the behalf of the power supply itself. So, alright, let's get this cleaned up, looking a little better. But, easy. Yep. Alright. So you can see the power cable's dressed really nice. Comes straight out the back. It's fastened down. Goes straight down. Those are my droop loop. And follows in. Now I'll plug everything else back in, and it is plugged into the controlled by master. So once this is on and off, when I turn this on and turn this off, then it'll recognize and start controlling that second one. Yeah, I really like the way that looks. So let's plug everything else back in. I just unplug everything so it's out of my way, and I can fasten the lines where you can see nice and tidy. R90s, and then goes in. All right. Well, I'm super happy. Take a look at that. To prove it's off. Notice it's off. Power. So I will show you something really quick when we turn that on. The LED light strip that was there, it to there. I think that's better. You can see everything in here now. That's way better. Yeah, and I'm gonna buy some of these sticky things here and kind of adjust the cables a little bit. But I figured, you know, everything has cables have a natural memory when they've been curled up for a long time. So I'm gonna let it get let's get a little warm in here. You know, and let the cables kind of sit how they are and be able to come out of their natural memory, that how they were packaged, and then I'll adjust the cables a little nicer, so I'm not just fighting them or bending them against the direction that they kind of want to go. I kind of want them to naturally go the way they are. But power supply installed, looks really good. Really happy the way the cables kind of came down and around here, and I tucked them up under here. You can see them right there. I just used a piece of tape and taped it in there for now until I get some more of those. We'll have to dab a bit of hot glue and put that in there. But the gauges are independently powered. That 12 volt power supply I will also be using in a later upgrade. If you want to watch, I want to add a fan right here. And I want to add some fans here so that it will cool off this area, and then it'll blow it into the duct, into the suction duct or traction duct or however you want to call it. But yes, I'm definitely happy with the way that turned out. I'm happy with that power supply that I installed in the back. I'm going to adjust those a little nicer, but it's not hurting anything the way it is. But yeah, just overall, super happy. Going to be doing a lot more. Look at that. You'll see that turned on. Boop, turned off. See that? Perfect. And see those. So once I plug that into the power supply, those go off. Then they should. The power supply at the bottom, once master, when this turns off, it should automatically kill power to the power supply that's running this, so I don't have to switch them. But yeah, so that's the upgrading the K40 LCD displays, installing an independent 12-volt power supply, relocating the existing light to the control cabinet light, I should say. Later videos to come, installing a much brighter light in this work area, air assist, and some fans. So stay tuned for some other additional upgrades to come, and then eventually a motorized bed. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. If you've made any modifications on your K40, any suggestions that I do, please let me know. If you have any questions, something I didn't cover or something went over too fast, let me know. I'd glad to either make another video or to just answer in the comments below. You're always welcome to send me an email at any time. My email is rick.ramirez@ricks2cents.com. Once again, that's rick.ramirez@ricks2cents.com. Stay blessed, not stressed. Thanks for watching.